evening, everybody, and once again, welcome to Talking Sports with Ronnie and Johnny here on Drake and Access TV. Glad to be with you tonight. We're here every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 o'clock, talking about national and local sports in our own little views. We have our own little ways here alongside of my co-host, Johnny Dakota. I am Ronnie Perrin. We need to really be patient with Johnny tonight. He's coming in as a trooper tonight. Didn't feel real good. Got a little bit of cold, so we're going to take it easy on him tonight.
You don't care about me.
I have compassion. I do. I have this much compassion for you.
I will say though,
Yeah.
we don't have a third wheel here
No,
tonight.
there's no third wheel tonight.
I was impressed with your effort last week, Ronnie. So that's why there is no other. So you've got a reprieve.
So I got a reprieve.
You do.
Which is good because if you were feeling great tonight, I was
Yeah.
going to be honest with you.
What are we gonna
I
do?
was opening up the show and just going to say, it's all yours. I was going to hand over the reins because I just figured, you know what? I kind of like the idea of talking sports with Johnny and blank.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see the stress in you the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been tough.
And
Tough.
I didn't want to put you through that again.
been
So
a-
we're going to give it another week or two, talking sports with
listen,
Ronnie and Johnny,
I appreciate it.
and we'll see what happens.
I appreciate that.
I mean, they're paying us big money.
Listen, I'll tell you what, it's not, and you know what? People tell us all the time too, and I'm getting a lot of people calling me up about this contract of ours.
Yeah. Well,
But hey, listen, it is what it is. So,
we earn it.
yeah, we do earn it every week. We earn it. It's not easy. It's not easy being us. So yes, our two regulars probably will be calling in tonight. I know you're happy with
One regular.
well, there's actually two regulars. The second regular, we're going to switch a little gears though. So we're not going to talk about the
If we
Bruins.
talk about NASCAR tonight,
We're not
I'm gonna-
talking NASCAR. There'll be no more
There'll
NASCAR.
be violence on
The
Drake and
chase
Access.
is- The chase is over. There's no more chasing the chase.
Okay.
So when our Rob calls in, he's going to be talking about the Bruins. So we're going to hold off on the Bruins because I got a lot of things I want to say about the Bruins, but I want you two to kind of put your heads together because Rob really is knowledgeable
Is
about
he?
the Bruins. Yes, he is. He's believe
So
me.
he could possibly
very,
be
very passionate.
talking
Very, very
sports with
passionate. Yeah,
Johnny
could
and
be.
Rob.
Could be. Could be.
Do you know
So-
that I went to 2 Bruins games last
Yeah, what happened to those games? How'd that work out
week?
for you?
They lost both games.
Jonah. You have a Jonah. In the business, that's
St.
called a
Louis.
Jonah.
And Calgary Flames. They
Sure.
lost to the Calgary Flames.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, hey, they're a good team.
Oh, my.
You know, they don't have any issues, Johnny.
It's
All the issues are all
unbelievable.
taken care of. But I don't want to talk about them right now. We'll talk about that later when we do get Rob to call on the phone.
All right.
Hopefully he will be calling in tonight. And he's going to talk a little bit Bruins with you because God knows I hate talking about the Bruins. I'm not much into the Bruins. I just don't.
Do you kick at all? Like footballs? Have you ever kicked?
I've kicked the football a couple of times.
Did you get a call from Belichick?
Somebody needs to do something.
Somebody left you a message, right?
Somebody needs to do something about that kicking game.
I actually now feel bad for him,
Are you really starting to feel bad for him?
for Goskowski. I really,
Do you think Goskowski really cares about whether or not
well, he's what, the second or third highest kicker?
Do you think he really cares? You know, because the funny part about that is, I don't really think that like there's anything to really be concerned about with him, honestly, because look he still is one of the top 5 kickers in football.
But the thing is-
Everybody's missing extra
But the
points.
problem is, now the coach has put it in his head.
Well, maybe.
All right, so you're at 4th and 4, right?
Yeah.
And you got a 54-yard field goal.
That's still a good kick, though.
But he's
I
made
know in the
those
past.
kicks.
Well, I know in the past.
Well,
he
there it
was-
is. In the
I
past.
gotcha.
So now the coach
I
goes,
gotcha. I get where you're coming from. In the past,
Steve, go warm
it
up that
wouldn't-
seat.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be a
It
second
wouldn't have been an
thought.
issue last
Not
year.
a second thought. He wouldn't give it a second thought to put
So,
him in there. But now he's
You
starting
see
to-
him who's drinking the water at the side.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
coach.
Yeah, but when he really has to start worrying is when he starts bringing kickers in. You know what I
Oh,
mean? That's
God.
when Bill decides to start bringing another kicker in. That's when Goskowski's really going to worry about it. But he's standing by him right now, and you know maybe he just figured the situation wasn't. Now, what am I kidding? He doesn't have a lot of
So
confidence. in
if
him.
that 4th and 4 play to James White didn't pick up that first down, I mean, it had been sports talk heaven all this week.
Good God!
This
Who
would
knows
be
what
up
would
there
happen?
with that 4th and 2 against Indianapolis
Who knows?
3 years ago.
Who knows what would have happened? You mean the one with the 20-yard line when they went for 4th and
Yeah.
2 and didn't make it? Yeah.
I mean, and not give Goskowski that chance to hit 54 yards. 4th and 4. It's not 4th and 1, Ronnie.
No,
4th
for the
and 4.
I get it. I understand.
I mean,
But you know
what do
what,
you do?
though?
What do you
But you-
do?
but you
Would
know
you
what,
make
Pella?
that call? Would you have done that?
Boy, I'll tell you. You know, I would have trotted Goskowski out there myself. I really would have. I would have personally because I think he could have made the kick. You know, because I
you
still
had
have
to.
confidence in him.
I think you had to once he missed that field goal. Now,
Yeah,
you know what? He's still thinking about it. He's
know-
at the cask and flagon right now. He's been drinking for 4 days now.
Wow.
3 days he's
Well,
been banging
he
it.
better figure it out because you know they got the tough Los Angeles Rams coming in this week. And by the way, this is how concerned Bill
What a
Belichick.
schedule, huh?
Oh boy, I'll tell you, how concerned is Bill Belichick? And in his press conference, all he talked about was the punter.
Yeah.
And how good the punter was.
The punter was
And
great.
the punter's the best athlete on the team. And he can run, and he can throw. And all three phases of the game, he's
You
very
play offense,
accomplished.
defense, and kick,
So, now,
special
so like,
teams.
is that kind of like a slap in the face to Goff? to Gurley? If you're hearing that stuff, if
Oh, I
you're
know.
those guys, right, and you're hearing it, and he's basically saying, yeah, really, the only good thing they really have in that team is the punter, would that light a fire under your ass a little bit?
That's chalkboard material.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, and I think that, like, with Belichick, I always know that there's always an ulterior motive when he's doing something. Now it goes back to the fact that, remember this, him and Fisher don't get along very well. He doesn't like Fisher very much.
Oh, no.
He likes to rub it in every time he faces Fisher, because if you remember the last time they played Tennessee when Fisher was on the sidelines, in the snow, they rubbed it in 53-0.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, or 51 or something like that to nothing.
What is the deal with him and Fisher?
I don't know what the background is about it, but I do know that they've had history, and I know that it may be an assistant thing down the, back when they were, when they were
Yeah.
first starting out, and maybe there was some bad blood in that. And if everybody knows, again, you give us a call, 978-957-4243. Let us know if you know why Fisher and Belichick have history, but they definitely do. And
Do
he
the
loves
Rams,
rubbing.
do the Rams pose a problem Sunday?
I don't think so.
I thought they played fairly well Sunday.
I'll tell you.
I really did.
I'll
and
tell
I'll
ya.
tell you, I like this kid Goff.
The
I
sad-
think
the
the more he
sad-
plays, he's going to get better.
Listen, Johnny, I agree. I love his arm. He's got a nice, strong arm.
He does.
He's still a kid. He still makes some bad decisions. But the thing that concerns me about the Rams is all they used to talk about, or all they did prior to last week, was that defense. The defense is this. The defense is that's what's keeping them in
they
games.
really
The
got
defense is winning
smoked.
games. And New Orleans just killed it. Again, same thing. They rubbed it in also.
Yeah.
Okay, so there must be something going on in the league with Fisher, because they did the exact same thing. Okay, to him. So
That was
says
JV.
something.
That was definitely JV
Yeah.
stuff because
So I guess if the defense of Los Angeles isn't going to be doing anything, then they surely have no chance against the Patriots. They have none. They will, because
was these
offensively,
one of those games
offensively they're not
that
good.
you just kind of say it's a win and then guess what?
Well-
because let's face it, Ronnie. I know we're talking about a 9-2 team,
Right. Well, yeah, they're 9-2 on
but this
paper.
is not a championship team.
9-2 on paper.
Right. This is not a championship team. I don't
agree.
care what anybody says. It isn't. This defense has got more holes in it. I mean,
We're going to talk about that, Johnny. 'cause you know
actually, they
what?
played better when Shad was in there.
Yeah.
Shad played. I thought
Yeah.
Malcolm Brown played pretty well, and Chris Long came up with a big play.
Well, we're going to talk about that, because we're going to get into the 3 up and 3 down like we always do, okay?
Yep.
But before we do that, here's a question I want to pose to everybody out there, everybody's watching, and I'm sure there's
Millions.
millions, okay, people watching out there. 978-957-4243 if you want to weigh in. Two areas I want to get into. First, I want to get a little bit lighthearted. I just did with the kicker heckers and the fact that that's the only concern they really have.
Right.
The second thing is, did you hear this thing about how Belichick cost Tim Tebow $1 million? Did you hear that? Okay, the fact that,
Well, that's in his new book,
no,
right?
well, but here's the thing. I mean, think about this, though. Is that how much control that Bill Belichick really had on some of these players, or has on some of these players, that he could actually go to a guy like Tim Tebow, and Tebow was offered $1 million to do some sort of commercial or some sort of photo shoot or whatever it was, and he went to him and said, please don't do this, okay? And Tebow didn't do it. I mean, now, pose the same question to you, Johnny, or to me, okay? Would you, if you were offered $1 million and you know you're going to be a third-string quarterback, possibly if you make the team, on this team, okay, and you probably came in, probably the minimum, probably the minimal salary, accepted in the NFL when they brought Tebow in, and somebody's offering you probably 3 times that amount to do a photo shoot, are you gonna say no to that?
Absolutely
Would
not.
you? No, that's what I mean.
Absolutely not.
Who in their right mind would do that? But it just goes to show what type of control and what type of atmosphere is in New England. Now, fast forward to now, and some of that, like we talked about last year with Gary, is slipping away.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
You see the shared situation. You saw the
Collins.
Collins situation. Supposedly there's some grumblings with Gronkowski, okay, going on right now that,
You know what makes me think here? Just because, let's face it, I mean, we do put Bill on a pedestal. But
And
is
Bill we
is there a reason why Gronkowski has not got an extension? Because
You know-
you know what? Let's face it.
he's
he
under
is-
contract in the
He's one of the top 3 or 4 greatest tight ends of all time.
he will
But guess
probably
what?
he will probably be.
He's taken as
Oh,
much
beatings.
punishment
Oh, he's taking beatings.
as anybody has.
And I think that's basically what it's all about. It's all about the Patriots saying, we have you in a contract right now,
That's it.
and we don't know whether you're going to last another 2 or 3 years the way you're going. And so why
So
are we
why-
gonna- why are we
so,
going to
I mean-
extend you to another 4 or 5 years? And, although, it's different because obviously,
But that makes me think, because they bring in Bennett on his contract year.
Right.
Right? Okay, he does perform well, Belichick likes him. Who are you going to give the money to?
you know what?
So you got 2 tight ends that are up for contracts.
Right, exactly.
Who's got less
But the thing
tread on the
is,
tire?
Gronkowski isn't yet. Bennett will be. So the problem is, if you pay Bennett more than you pay Gronkowski, you know how upset Gronkowski is going to be with that situation?
Oh, there's no
So you're only
question.
going to fuel the fire with what's going on right now with him as it is. And again, like you said, it's all about the fact that they have not given an extension yet. But again, you got to think about it. Business-wise, and Belichick isn't the type of guy that is,
Business is
lovey-dovey
business,
man.
yeah.
He's business is business.
That's right, that's
And that's what he thinks about. And he's not only thinking about this year, he's thinking about 5 years down the road.
That's
So,
what they do, the Pats.
you
That's
know-
why they're so successful.
Yeah,
They see 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the pike. They do.
Exactly. Okay, so my second question to you is it concerning to you how hurt Brady, Gronkowski, and Edelman are? They haven't practiced all week, okay? Very limited practices if they're practicing. No, Brady's not practicing. I don't think the last 2 days. Well, yesterday he kind of showed up. Today he didn't really he
I
didn't
gotta
practice
tell
at
you,
all.
I gotta tell
Is
you.
it, is it, you think we should make more out of it than it really is, or do you really think that they're hurt?
I think they're pretty banged up.
Yeah.
But if there's ever a game to rest these guys, including Brady,
Yeah.
this is the game on the schedule.
Okay. When you say rest now, what do you mean by that? Because that's
Then I
that's
say-
on the sheet here, Johnny. That's on the sheet. I got that on the sheet.
I didn't even see that.
You didn't even see the
I'm a
sheet. You got that.
visionary.
We're right there. You are
like
a visionary.
Nostradamus.
You are.
I am.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's on the sheet. So when you say rest, do you mean like this type of rest where Brady doesn't really need the practice? He doesn't need the reps.
No,
okay?
I see Jimmy
Or
G
Or do you
starting the
see
game.
Jimmy G starting?
I'd like to see him start.
Okay. All right. Now that's my next
But,
question.
but Brady will take a fit.
Again, 978-957-4243
He
if you
will
want to
take
weigh
a
in.
fit.
It's going to, obviously, here's the thing. And look, if Brady is healthy enough and walking around, Brady's going to play. But, with that said, and you made a great point, and it's not
Once
often.
again,
Well, it's not often that I agree with it. It's like vinegar in my mouth.
I got it.
But if there was ever a game that you could just say, you know what, Tom, just, all right, look, you're banged up a little bit here. Let's just take the week off, okay?
Right.
You're not going to play this week. We're going to start Jimmy G. We'll see what happens. You're the backup. If things go awry a little bit here, we'll throw you into the game. If we're going to control with Jimmy G, then you know what? You're not going to see a snap. Now,
Do you think it's more than just
Would
a
you
kind of
do
a
that?
sprained knee, or do you think it could be a minute?
no, I think there's more to it than there really is. I think if it could just be a sprained knee, but it's an extensive knee sprain. Okay.
You see him getting off the podium
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
post game.
Yeah. Yeah. He looked a lot older.
He looked a lot older.
Yeah.
But when he went down on that leg, he went whoa.
Yeah. He's hurt. And because you look at what have we seen from Tom Brady since the day he got here? Hard worker.
Yep.
Wants to be the number one guy to show in practice. He wants to be the leader.
But now, let's get to your point though. Let's say you sit down Gronkowski,
Yep.
and I got to tell you, Bennett would be lucky to be 70% with that ankle.
He's banged up too.
So you activate the third guy. I think the kid's name is Lengel or something like that.
Yeah.
The third tight end. You bring him in. So you sit Edelman down. I think the biggest plus in last week's game was seeing the emergence of Malcolm Mitchell come out.
Absolutely.
And
Last
that-
2 weeks.
That was huge.
Last 2 weeks. And the thing is too is that a guy like Chris Hogan, okay, can be huge for that team.
How do you
also.
get so open?
Oh, I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't know, but I can tell you, he can be Edelman-like at times. Okay, he really can be. I'm
Yeah.
not putting him in the same category, but he's got the same type of shiftiness.
He doesn't
And
have
here's-
the
here's
juke.
it-
He doesn't have the juke
And
type of thing.
I'm going to put another name out there that I think even if you decided to sit an Edelman and you decided to sit a Gronkowski, you still have Deion Lewis. Deion Lewis, after 2 weeks now, is starting to look like the old Deion Lewis, okay? And listen, you could take him and throw him in the slot, okay, with the way his shiftiness and the way he does, and still, I mean, not be an Edelman, but still be okay.
Does he look like he's lost anything?
Deion Lewis?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I think
you
I think he's the same. I think he's come back.
That guy.
He's come back to the way he was.
They've done a good job in the last 2 weeks with him, putting in 7 to 10 plays, 12 plays he's played in. But that juke the other night,
Oh boy, he's
wow. But I
He's
think
the-
the guy
he's back.
I think the guy I'm really worried about is Edelman. There's
Well,
going to be a
he's-
time
he's-
he's
listen.
Wes Welker redo.
There you go. I mean,
And
how
it's
many
gonna be
times
a
do we see
time.
it? How many times do we see it?
He's going to break down.
You can't take the hits at that. Look at
Not at his
he's tough
size.
as nails.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's 5'10", 185 pounds.
That's it.
And you can't take that. You can't take that pounding. That's what happened to Welker. The Patriots.
gonna happen to him.
And like we say when we talk about Belichick, going back to him, he saw that. That's why he let him go. He saw that he had lost a step. He saw that he was banged up. He had the knee surgery. Okay, he saw all that stuff, put two and two together, and said, "It's time for you to go. We have a guy waiting in the wings."
Exactly.
Thank you very much. So the same thing will probably happen to Edelman in the next year or two. So yeah, my big thing was with the 3 up and 3 down. We're going to start the 3 up and 3 down, okay? And we'll go 3 up, all right? Number 3 for me was the defensive front line. I thought really for the first time this year that front 7, okay, actually played pretty well. All right, they still have that lack of a pass rush, but it was a little better this week.
I know, but Ronnie,
Okay,
it's against the New York
and
Jets.
I understand, but here's the big thing though. They held a guy like Matt Forte from breaking loose this week, not only just running the ball, but also coming out of the backfield and making, because a guy like Forte is not just dangerous running the ball in between the tackles.
No, I get
He's
it.
more dangerous catching balls outside. Okay, he could catch 8, 10, 12 balls and just kill you on any week. They held him in check. Okay, the front 7 really did hold him in check, and because of that, it made it a lot easier, okay, defensively for the pass rush not to be there.
Well, let's face it. It's as Parcells would say, it is what it is.
Yes.
They're going to be bend, hopefully not break, all the way through the playoffs.
That's the way it is, 20 to 20s.
They're not
The
going
20
to
to
get to the
20s.
quarterback. They're not.
Belichick's philosophy has always been, and it always will be, that it's 20 to 20s. I don't care what happens between the 20s and 20s. You can let them go up and down the field between the 20 and 20,
Yep.
but when they get in the red zone, if we hold them to field goals, we're going to win games. You look for a turnover, or if we hold them to field goals, we're going to win games.
I'm worried against a really good quarterback. He's going to slice and dice.
That's an excellent point, because they really haven't faced a real good quarterback this year.
haven't.
Right.
They really
So that's
haven't.
going to remain to be seen. And they ain't going to face one this week either. Okay?
Who
So
they really
the
have?
to be completely honest with you, for the rest of the season,
There isn't anybody.
The only guy that the best quarterback they may face, and I'm not even putting him in a real good category, is Simeon from Denver. Other than that, they're going to face the same guys over again.
You
They're
got
going to face
Tannehill.
Tannehill.
You're going to see
You're going to see the Jets.
Fitzpatrick again?
Maybe, it depends. The only reason why they put Fitzpatrick in this week is because he's killed the Patriots in the past.
He looked good.
Okay, and he was okay. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't beat them, and he's not going to face them again for another 2 or 3 weeks, he may be and he may not be in. But either way, it doesn't make a difference. They're still not good quarterbacks.
Does Brandon Marshall remind you of Randy Moss?
In a way, he does. Yeah, he's built like him.
What a great receiver.
Yeah, he really is. He's one of the top receivers. But again, no great shakes there this last week. I mean, he had a
He was
decent
open.
week.
He was open
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Yeah, but you know what? Didn't kill him, and that was the thing.
Bend, not break.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so number 3 was my defensive front 7. Number 2, I'm going to give to Tom Brady. When I try to do the top 3, I don't really try to put Brady in there, because every week we expect Brady to be number 1.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he should be number 1 every week. But there were weeks where, I try to keep him off of it somehow, some way. But I think the fact that he actually played in the condition he was playing in, because I think he's really hurt. I think he's hurt a lot worse than everybody thinks he is. And the fact
He
that
did not have a good first half.
you know what the thing is he didn't, but he adjusted in the second half, and,
Oh, he
and
did,
he
no
was,
doubt.
he was spot on in the second half, and that last drive that he had was
Tom
number
Brady.
one. Look at just that one play alone where he fumbles the ball and then has
God,
the
how that
wherewithal
ball
to
did-
be able to grab the ball and hit a guy, in the back of the thing with a guy draped all over him. I mean, that tells you that says a lot, So I think
He's been there. He's done it.
He really did. He sucked it up last week, and I think for me, he deserved to be my number 2.
You just bring a great point up. Who do they have to face for the rest of the year, except for Denver?
They're really, again,
The more I watch Tannehill, the worse. I can't even believe they paid him that type of money, Miami. He's
there's-
terrible.
The problem is that the league is so watered down now
Yeah.
that they.
You're right, they are.
They don't have any really. There's not a lot of great quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to number 1, and then we have a caller on the phone. But my number 1 stars of the 3 up for the Patriots were a combination of Edelman and Hogan. Okay. Those 2 receivers played lights out last week for the Patriots.
I thought James White had a good game.
White had a very good game too. But these 2 guys were constantly, when Brady needed them to be open, they were open.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep, no doubt about it.
All right, so on the line right now, we have our UMass Lowell expert and hockey guru, Ray Keefe. Ray, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How you guys doing?
All right,
Ray.
Ray, what's going on? How was your holidays?
What?
How was your holidays?
Very, very good. That's a great holiday weekend. It stinks when it's over.
Awesome, awesome. So what's going on with UMass Lowell hockey we should know about?
Well, they were off last weekend, guys.
Yep.
But a lot of other teams around the country weren't. And Lowell moved up two spots in the pairwise because UVM beat Quinnipiac and also won a tournament over the weekend. So just by sitting and watching everybody else, they gained 2 spots. So it wasn't a bad weekend at all.
Good. Sometimes not playing at all can help, I guess. And then they do the rest too. The rest is going to be pretty good for them because, again, we've talked about the youth, as Johnny and me would say, the youth of this team. It's probably good that they got a little bit of rest.
Yeah, I think some rest helps everybody. Remember that Christian Folan is still out, and I'm not sure what the situation is with him. You can't find out anything from them, kind of similar to the Patriots. So maybe this weekend he'll be back. I did hear it was a knee, but there was no timetable. It'd be nice to get him back, and this past weekend being off gave him an extra week to heal up.
Okay, so what do we got this weekend?
Well, we're coming up with Connecticut, home on Friday and then down there on Saturday. You may remember that before the break last year, they got swept by Connecticut.
Right.
And, hopefully they're going to remember that because Connecticut is, they're 4-6-5, but they have beat Notre Dame and BU. So they'll be a dangerous team, just like Maine, just like Vermont, just like, some of the other lower tier teams. They're still dangerous, especially down there where they pack 9,000 people in. And they do have a couple of young weapons, draft picks. So they're going to be tough, guys. But I love the way this kid Wall is starting to play. He knows he's going to get the nod each and every weekend now. So, he's number 13 in the country in save percentage. He's kind of coming on, and been a nice little surprise for us.
I'm surprised to see Vermont playing so well so early into the season, Ray, but obviously BC right now is got the top spot, and they seem to be the clear-cut favorite in Hockey East. A lot of the other teams seem to be bunched up right now. Obviously, it's early, but what are you seeing on your end?
Well, that's the thing. BC, the deeper you get into the season, John, the better they're going to get because they have a lot of recruits that they brought in to replace the high-profile guys they lost last year. And so sometimes early on you have some trip-ups, but as you get into the season, you get better and better. They've actually been good from day one, and they were picked as number 6 in Hockey East in the coaches poll, and they're just blowing that out of the water. So you're right; they look like they're gonna run away and hide. Although there's still a lot of hockey to be played, but you're right about that. Everybody else is bunched up. Providence off to a terrible start. BU a little bit sluggish, but those teams are going to be there, and they're both on Lowell's schedule down the road.
Well,
Right,
this is
right,
where it
right.
starts. This is where it starts. The tire hits the road now. The rubber hits the road now because right around the Christmas time is everybody starts playing each other, and now you're going to see the true mettle of teams, right?
Absolutely. And so Lowell will play Connecticut this weekend, and then they'll follow up with Merrimack with a home-and-home next weekend, and
Yep.
then their break starts. So you have 4 games that are very winnable. I'm thinking I'm hoping they'll come out with 4, but I'm thinking 3-1. Love to see them sweep Connecticut for payback for last year, and then stay out of the stay off the injury list and move into Merrimack next week and see what we can do there. And then you get the long break, and then, as you guys know, the meat of the schedule just hits them right in the face
Yep.
starting in January.
Now, I know Ronnie has a question for you, Ray, but we want to get you in here because Ronnie thinks he's stable in his position as the co-host, but we're still trying out people, so we want to have you come in here. Maybe
Open tryouts.
not next Wednesday, maybe the Wednesday after if you're available, all right?
Yeah, all right. Just get the wide lens because I got a big honker.
All right, because I think we got to seriously
Yeah,
make
it's
a change.
wide
here.
open right now. There's no clear-cut favorite here, Ray, All right, just listen. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to have Rob call in a little bit later on too, and he's going to talk about hockey and the Bruins. He's going to give his advice on the Bruins. I want you to put your coach's hat on for me if you're the coach of the Bruins and tell me, how do you fix this team?
Wow.
We only got an hour here,
What-
Ray.
Johnny, you and I, we'll be here till midnight. Well, first of all, I think we got to shore up the defense. I don't know if we want Shara back or we don't. John, you're probably up in the air on that too. I suppose we'd like to have him back in the lineup, but we'd like him back 3 years ago, not the way he's been.
I'm happy with him being out.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic that he's out right now, Ray.
I know you felt that way for years, Ron.
Old cement shoes.
But you got to love the way Rask is playing. So I think it's pretty obvious. The defense has to play a little bit better, and we got to get some more scoring. I mean, they got to score goals. It's so frustrating, and Rask must just be, getting completely irritated behind the, in the net there.
Oh, he has to be. He has to be irritated right now. But the problem with Rask, though, Ray, is that he's as hot as a goalie can be, and he can do that for a while. But once he puts back a couple of stinkers, you've lost him for the season. Okay, because that's the mindset of this guy.
You haven't lost him for this.
You would lose him for the season. He's done that in the past, Johnny. He's done it in the past where, you know what? He starts talking about things. Right now, it's all
he's
gravy.
still not even in
right
his
now,
prime
everything's
yet.
gravy. Everything's
still
all
not
gra-
even in
well,
his prime yet
listen,
as a goalie.
The last 2 years, we've seen it from this guy. Okay, when everything is gravy for him, everything's great. When things start going bad, okay, he tends to start talking about what and why things are going bad, and most of the time, it's we have to do a better job in front of me. Okay, he's done that in the past. Look I'd love to see Tuukka Rask the rest of the season be the goalie we see right now, but I don't see it, Ray. Okay, he hasn't proven it in the past, and at some point he's going to have a meltdown. And the second biggest concern, Ray, my second biggest concern, and I want you to answer this, is who's going to put the biscuit in the basket for this team?
Well,
Ray, now you know why I need another co-host. You know what I'm talking about? This is exactly the reason why. You're an
well,
idiot.
I think that look at Marchand got off to such a great start. I think he's the guy you got to look to. Wouldn't you agree, Tony?
I kind of, you know what? Last night I didn't. Don't listen to Ronnie. I really love Bergeron and Marchand together. And last night I actually liked Julian putting Schaller on the left wing. The kid has got some talent, and I think it's a good fit. The only thing I would really change, and I don't know how they do it because of what they have for non-talent, but you got to make David Backes a center. He is not a right winger. The guy is a big body who loves to get in front of the goalie. I mean, I went to a couple of games last week, which they lost, Ray. But I got to tell you, on the power play, they put Backes, just like they did with Chara on the power play, they put him right in front of the goalie. And I'm telling you, the guy's a huge presence, but he's a centerman. I still don't think David Krejci's the player he once was. I don't know what's going on with him. He's not playing with the aggressiveness that he used to. Maybe it'll come during the year, but right now, David Krejci is not David Krejci to me. Ryan Spooner, that experiment to me is over as well. I mean, I think we've given him enough time. I mean, it's pretty sad, Ray, when we're longing for Frank Vetrano to come off the injured reserve. That's what it's coming down to.
So you
Yeah,
kinda,
that's a great point. And
so you, go ahead, Ray.
the thing about the NHL, Johnny, is you can't get too far behind because it's almost impossible to backtrack once you get deeper into the season.
It's pretty. You're absolutely right, Ray. Absolutely right. But if you look at the standings, they're still really not out of it as bad as they're playing. I mean, last night was a good effort, but they played a team that's like them, who can't put it in who can actually put it in the net, but they can't play defense. They're like 25th in defense in the league, Flyers. But that was a good game to watch last night. That was fun to watch.
My problem is they can't beat the good teams.
They can't.
Okay, that's the bottom line. Okay, and you can't play crappy teams every night. You're not going to play the Philadelphias and the.
Yeah, but when you play
put
the
thing in there.
Calgarys and you don't win, that's worse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But so again, but what I'm saying is, in order to be effective, in order to make the playoffs, you can't go 500 against the lesser teams and and 350 against the other ones. You have to go 800 against those teams and maybe 500 against the good teams. This
Yeah,
team
that's
isn't
a great
capable of
point,
doing that.
Ronnie.
This
gotta mop
team's
up
not
against
capable of
the bad
doing it,
team.
Ray. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
have
they.
to mop up against the bottom. There's no doubt. Because
exactly.
If you're going to lose against the cream of the crop, you better be beating the ones at the bottom.
I mean, now Johnny just made a point that he thinks that they're actually playing good right now.
Well, I don't think they're
Okay.
playing. They're playing inconsistent.
Oh,
hockey.
playing bad right now. I'm sorry. You said was they're playing bad. I think they're actually playing pretty decent hockey altogether, all things considered. My problem is, as good as I think they're playing right now, and for me, probably different views. Where are they in the standings right now? Okay,
They're still
there's
in
going to
it.
be a stretch where they're not going to play as well. They're going to play the medal of hockey. They're not going to play. They're going to play the cream of the crop for 5 or 6 games. And if they only come out with 4 points out of 6 games, you're going to see them in 11th place. And they're never going to be able to get into the playoffs. They do it for the last 2 or 3 years. This team doesn't have the makeup to make it to the playoffs
They're an 8th seed. That's what they are.
right now.
No, that's where they're going to be too. They
They're
are.
not even gonna
They're
be
like
the-
7th or 8th, and that's where they're going to be.
They're going to be lucky to be a 10th seed by the time they're done. That's just my opinion. But
Ray,
anyways, Ray,
we're going to have you
always
in here
great-
in 2 weeks.
Yep,
Ray.
2 weeks, Ray. You're coming in. Put it on your calendar, okay?
I'm marking it down, guys.
Marking it down. 2 weeks, you're going to be live.
Ray,
People
bring
are
some
finally
money. We
see
got to
you
go
are.
to Owen Ollie's after.
That's right. We got to go 2 doors down.
Okay.
We'll see you, Ray.
was
Okay,
a-
guys. Thanks a lot.
All right,
All
Ray.
right.
That was a
Bye-bye.
plug, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They should pay. They should get
2
free
doors
beers for
down.
that.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to what we were talking about before. We were talking about the 3 up and 3 down. We had said the 3 ups. My 3 ups were the defensive front 7, Tom Brady, and the combination of Edelman and Hogan. So the 3 downs for me, number 3, Gronkowski and Bennett. Okay. First of all,
I don't know if you call him down.
no, 3 down because look at first of all, Gronkowski being in a game. If you looked at his whole demeanor in that game, there was one play where
Whole game. He was gone by the first
7
quarter.
plays. He was 7 plays. I'm saying that was part of my. That was going to be part of my thing here. First of all, he only played 7 plays. Okay, but what he did is after, if you looked at the last play that he had, okay, it was almost like you could see the disgust on his face. Like, you know what? I really even shouldn't be out here right now. Okay, because I don't think I think another guy who is hurt more, okay, than he really is. All right. So if you're getting nothing from Gronkowski,
He should sit out.
he should sit down.
Yeah.
Because you don't see this from this guy. This guy doesn't give you nothing when he's in a
Let's
game.
face it. You want him for the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? Be
Sure.
nice to grab the number 1 seed, but you know what? Oakland's playing.
We're going to grab the
out
number
of,
one.
out of
We're
their
going to grab the
heads
number
right
one season. That's not even an issue because I'm going to tell you why, Johnny. Because you got to remember, Oakland has to play Kansas City, has to play Denver twice. Okay.
I get it.
They're going to lose 2 or 3 more games. The Patriots aren't going to lose more than 1 game tops if lucky. And so,
I say you sit Gronkowski down for a couple of games.
well, listen, I wouldn't argue with you. I think they have enough makeup. They don't need Gronkowski against
There's
the Rams.
5 games left in the season.
Right. They don't need Gronkowski against the Rams. Okay,
No.
sit down. Okay,
Yeah.
We don't need you. Edelman, we don't need you for this game either. Sit down. Okay,
Right.
we're not going to play it. But Belichick doesn't think that way. His philosophy is if they're healthy enough to be in practice, they're healthy enough to play.
Right.
Okay. Now, with that said, what I was saying with the 3 down with Bennett, when Gronkowski went down, this guy is supposed to be a superstar tight end. That's why they brought him in. Okay,
You're going down the wrong road
he
here.
had 1 catch.
You know why?
1 catch.
He didn't go out. He was blocking.
1 catch. I don't
He
care.
was blocking.
I
Ron.
don't care.
If,
1
if
catch.
the players to call to stay home, you got to protect Tom Brady.
Why is everybody else making?
Because
catches?
everybody else was out.
Oh,
Plus,
I don't know about that. There was he had a couple of drops. Okay, he did have a couple of drops. He just didn't play well. Okay, they need more.
He's a
out of
better
him,
blocker than Gronk
especially when Gronkowski. No, Gronkowski's a heck of a blocker. That's one of his stronger areas. Is he can block. But anyways, that's number 3. And number 2, okay, all of the DBs. Okay, I won't just say Butler because I think Butler didn't play real well last week. Okay,
I mean, you're
but I'm going to
facing-
tell you
you're facing
something.
an all-pro there.
Way too many times, and not just Butler. I'm saying all the DBs, guys behind them. Okay, medium to long range passes. Okay, and
all right,
catch it.
I'm gonna rebut this.
and
You know
catch it-
why?
go ahead,
You know
yeah.
why?
Why?
Take a look at Brady.
Yep.
Take a look at Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
Who had more time in the pocket last week?
I don't know. Brady had some time. I don't know.
Not a lot of
Will
time.
you say Fitzpatrick?
Absolutely,
Okay.
Fitzpatrick
Well,
did.
okay.
Well, there's no sacks. He wasn't sacked.
Okay. I get it. I
You
understand.
know what? You give Brandon Marshall, and Fitzpatrick, 5 seconds, they're going to be open.
Okay.
And all those other guys.
Okay, but here's my point.
I mean, that
if
guy
you-
made a
if
great
you-
Umanu. He made
Yeah.
a great catch
If
in the
you-
end zone.
right. If you want to
can't
have,
stop
if you
like
want to
that.
have passes, okay, like
You're
here's
saying
my-
the defensive line, Ronnie, right?
Right.
You might as well bend and break in the DBs too and the
No,
linebackers.
well, I
They're the
just-
same defense.
Look, I don't care about the yardage they give up. I don't care about that. What I'm saying to you is, if you know
Yep.
that your front seven can't get a pass rush, okay, on most plays, on 95% of the plays, there's no pass rush. As a defensive back, do whatever you're going to do not to allow a 50-yard touchdown pass, okay? You have to get in a position where you know, okay, maybe I have to play a little deeper, okay? Because you know what? I know we don't have the pass rush, so instead of giving that 40-yard pass up, I'll give the 15-yard square in pass up. Or you know what I mean?
So
You know what I'm
your
saying?
angle is they're just beating them flat out.
Yeah,
on those
yes,
long routes.
yes,
long
they're
routes.
just beating them.
Right.
Absolutely, they're just beating them flat out. They're flat out beating
I'll give
them.
you that.
Okay, that's my point. Okay, so number one for me was Chris Long. I thought Chris Long had his best game as a Patriot, okay? And it wasn't just that one play, because if you looked at most of the game, there was probably a half a dozen plays in that game where he just missed. He was just missing getting to Fitzpatrick. Now, I don't know if it's technique or whether it's just, he just missed. Time-wise, I don't know, but he
I
actually
think
played his best game.
he is playing fairly consistent this year.
Yes, I think he's
And
probably.
it would be nice if the other side of the line had the same pressure.
Okay, I get it.
Hello, Rob Ninkovich.
Yeah,
Is he still hurt?
Probably.
He came back from a tricep.
Probably.
I mean,
probably.
he's not the same Rob Ninkovich. He's
No.
not. He's not.
No, I
There's
agree.
There's
I
nothing
agree.
coming from that side, Ronnie.
I know, I understand that, but I'm talking about individually as a player for this game. I'm not talking about scheme. I'm not talking about.
It might have been the
other
player
sides.
too. You got the Jets.
Okay.
Maybe the player wasn't that great, but once again, no sacks. You know what? The
What-
defensive line
that,
is
that,
not doing
that was
well.
a big play. That strip
Alan
sack
Branch
he
had a great game, but you know what? So they pick up another defensive tackle this week
Yes.
because they know Branch is gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Eventually he is, because once the
So,
appeal
you
comes
know, as
through,
much as-
once the appeal comes through, he's going
As
to
much as we're sneaking by teams right now.
right.
I mean,
I agree. I agree with.
I don't
this
think it's going
falls
to be
in
a
this team.
38-10 game against the
If
Rams.
you ask me to put it all together here, Johnny, there's all this mix right here, right?
Yeah.
We're very fortunate, number one, because of the schedule we had this year.
No doubt.
Very fortunate with the
No
schedule
doubt.
we had.
No doubt.
Okay?
Yeah.
Without question. And we're very fortunate right now that the other teams right now that like Miami. Miami's 7-4 right now. Does Miami scare
Can you
you?
imagine 7-4
5-6
with
games
Ryan
in a row.
Tannehill
6
behind?
games in a row. Does that team scare you at all? Do you fear the
Drake
fact
at
that
High scares me more than the Miami
Okay,
Dolphins.
so I mean, think about that. The Jets are being the Jets.
Yeah.
Buffalo is being Buffalo. Now I know Buffalo's 6-4, but you could bet they're going to have their meltdown. Okay, because that's what Rex Ryan teams do. So the fact that they play in the division they play in, and the fact that the schedule this year was very weak, there's nothing that's going to stop the Patriots from being, the number one seed in the AFC. I don't think there's anything. It's just
If
not.
you really look at the standings, Ronnie,
Yeah.
this season's just about over.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
You just got 3 teams going for the 2 wild cards, basically.
Yeah.
Patriots got the East. The Texans are 6-4 in the South. Indianapolis and Tennessee at 5-6.
That's
5-6.
Still wide open.
5-6.
Still wide open
Right.
that one.
In the North, Pittsburgh 6-5, Baltimore 5-5.
You're gonna see.
What?
Johnny. You're gonna see from that division. You may see a 9-7 team win that division.
You know
Okay?
what? I think you're right.
9-7. You may see 9-7 win that
And then
division.
Oakland, Kansas City, and Denver are just going to pound
They're
each
gonna
other.
pound each other in the next 4 weeks. You
know?
don't know how that's gonna shake up. Okay? Because again, so my point is, when we talk about situations like Brady this week quarterbacking or not quarterbacking. Okay?
What do you think? Do you think he should or not?
I think he should take a rest. I think he should be resting his knee. I don't think they need him this
I
week.
think he'll freak out.
Well, he would. It's going to be up to. Look, he's not going to want to sit. Belichick doesn't want him to sit. Okay,
Right.
but Belichick's the coach of this team. Belichick should be going to him and saying, "Tom, look,
Listen, you're not 29
Tom,
anymore.
look, exactly,
You're 30 now.
exactly." And listen, you had 4 games off at the beginning of the season, so I understand where you're coming from. But the bottom line is, it's not like you haven't had weeks off this week, this year.
Rest
I know,
the knee,
but-
rest the knee.
the knee. Okay, we don't need you this week. Gronkowski, back sore.
Does that send a
rest
bad?
the
Does
back.
that send a bad message to the team?
No, of course not.
I'm playing devil's advocate
No,
with you.
I don't believe so. I believe what they're basically saying
Because
is
a lot of guys
we're
are
looking,
hurt out
we're
there.
looking to try. Well, look, injuries don't get better if you're playing. The only thing they can do is get worse, Johnny. If his knee's like it's supposed to be, like he's a bad knee. If he gets a little, instead of it being rested up and then he takes a hit, okay. Well, if it's rested and it's healed, that one hit will heal won't put him over
get
the
it.
edge.
I get it.
But if it's hurt and that hit gets him, now it puts him out for the. We could not see him for the playoffs. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Think Marcus Cannon had a nice day today?
Marcus.
$7 million.
Yeah, I know.
Got the bonus.
And here's a guy. Here's a
And
guy. Here's a guy. At the
you're
beginning of the year,
making
they were talking about
$6 million
cutting.
a year. $6 million a year.
They were talking about cutting this guy at the beginning of the year. Now
You think
he's
Dante
an extension.
Nicky is worth his money?
Wow, every penalty.
Are you kidding me?
He's
He
the,
just made him
He's the
$32
MVP of
million.
that team right now. With,
He
with that
is.
team, absolutely. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, John. I think that this team right now, has to be able to look to the playoffs. Even with 5 games left,
But even
they
this
have
offensive
to
line,
look to the playoffs.
Steinecke has even said it to Belichick. He goes, listen, I'm going to give Brady 3 seconds to throw the ball, and he won't get touched all year.
Right.
That's what he's done.
Yeah.
That's what he's done.
That's all he needs.
That's right. That's right, because he has those receivers.
That's their passing game, Johnny.
Yep.
Short to intermediate
And
routes,
don't
and then
think-
take a shot downfield every once
Don't
in a
think
while.
you're watching NFL Red Zone, right?
Oh.
You're starting to see all this
All
now?
that, yeah.
All these teams are starting to do the same thing now.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of
You're seeing
copycatting
it.
stuff right
5-6 yards, here you go, over the middle.
All right.
Little yak, and here we go.
So look, I'm going to bounce a little bit here, Johnny, because we still have a little bit of time. But and I know I said I didn't want to do this, because once we put the Red Sox to bed, okay, I said that I wasn't going to bring up the Red Sox again. But I think there's some
Once
things.
again, you never keep your promise.
I never keep my promise.
I understand.
But here's the thing, this is the hot stove part of the year right now,
Okay,
and
we're
all of
already there.
we're already at the hot stove part of the year. So we need to address what the big issue is with the Red Sox right now, and some of the potential players that the Red Sox are actually thinking about, and obviously with Ortiz retiring, you have to fill that hole. So what's been bandied about is the 2 players. One being, Carlos Beltran, and the other one being Edwin Encarnacion. Okay, now
Another one just came up.
well, there's going to be. We're going to get into that. I know you're going to talk about. Okay, but here's my thing. Now, you again put your hat on. You're Dombrowski. Okay,
Yeah.
Dombrowski. Okay,
He's got the same color hair.
And yeah, he actually does too. You kind of look like him a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
From the
Well,
Sopranos.
not
I
really.
feel like.
Not. Oh, you look like yeah, you do.
Paulie Walnuts.
Paulie, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks, Ronnie.
No problem. But I like Paulie. Paulie was actually one of my favorite characters on that show. All right, but anyways, so here's the thing. What would be ideal? Okay, well, ideal would be Edwin Encarnacion. He's the best available out there, obviously. But he can pick and choose pretty much where he wants to go. And the 2 places he's going to either end up going to is the Red Sox, if the Red Sox want to take him. I'm going to tell you why that may not be. Or the Yankees, okay? The Yankees have opened up money for him, okay, because
They let McCann go, huh?
They let McCann go, okay, and that's exactly what's happening.
more
where
money
they have
there.
more money, okay. Now Beltran again could go to. Beltran is the type of guy that both teams really like.
30, is he
Let's talk.
38,
Yeah, okay.
39?
That's my point.
Oh.
Let's not. He's going to be 40 years old before the season starts. Now, but here's the thing. Take away the age, okay, just for a second. And I know it's a big thing. Trust me, that's the big sticking point for me with this guy. But here's the thing. Take away his age. He fits into both systems because number one, he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's equally as good from both sides. So with that said, he could fit into the Red Sox system because they love this. And again, I'll bring his name up again. My good friend Jimmy Alamisis always says the Red Sox love to have that righty, lefty, righty, okay, situation in the middle of their lineup. Okay, that's how they like to have it. Well, I've always argued the point that who cares if you have righty, lefty,
I agree.
righty, as long as the righty guy. That
the
righty
right guy.
guy is the right guy. Who cares? Okay, it doesn't make a difference.
No, I get
all right.
it. Yeah.
So with that said, Edwin Encarnacion, if wait a minute, hold on. I just saw something. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Wait a minute. All right, on the line right now, John. I have to do it for you. The caller formerly known as our NASCAR guru. Okay,
Would Drake
Rob,
had
who is now
Would Drake had,
now
would Drake
our
had
Bruins
access?
expert
Would Drake had access?
on the line right
Would
now.
they have to
Rob,
cut us off if I step just by punching you?
I don't know if I'm a Bruins expert, but
well, no,
definitely not the NASCAR guru.
No, we're
anymore.
gonna listen. We're gonna make you that. By the time you're done, you'll be an expert. Don't worry about nothing, okay? All we have on this show is experts. You know that.
Oh, I get
Jeez,
that,
all right.
yeah, all
Good
day.
to hear from you. How was your holiday?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yourself?
Yeah, mine was okay. Yeah,
That's good,
I can't complain. I'm still here for a short time. Matter of fact, you know what, Rob? If you want to, 3 weeks from now, why don't you come into the show because we're having open auditions. Johnny's getting rid of me.
Oh, I thought Johnny was out. Didn't we-
No, Johnny's
What?
getting rid of
Are
me.
you kidding me? I'm bringing all the money in.
Yeah, Johnny. Well, look, he's got all the
What are
good
you,
looks.
out of your mind?
Johnny's got all the good looks. All right, so look at earlier we had Ray on. He talked about UMass Lowell hockey, and then he talked about the Bruins, and we gave him an opportunity to tell us what he thought was the situation with the Bruins. And here's a twofold question for you. Number one, and I think I asked you this before a few weeks ago, is this team capable of making the playoffs? And number two, why do you think that?
I don't think things are as dire as some people think.
Like me?
I think
I mean, are you talking specifically about me? Because you ain't talking about him, because he's on the same page as you. So go ahead. Convince me, Rob. Rob, bring me to your, listen, bring me down from the depths, okay? You know, I want
me
to
up
come down,
from the depths.
up from the depths, I should say. Bring me up from the depths of my Bruin displeasure.
things can only get better.
Tell me how.
Krejci, I don't know what's up with Krejci. He looks like he's not focused. I don't know. He's probably still fighting that from the surgery he had over the summer. I don't know what's up with him.
Well, you're not convincing me because that's a player that should be playing, and he's not. So scratch him. So give me the good news. Don't tell me the bad news about this guy hurt, this guy's not playing this. Because all it tells me is if that's the case, they have nothing.
Vetrano's coming back, right?
Who?
Vetrano?
The world is great.
Yeah, hey,
God help
things
us.
are looking up.
Thank
And I think, Backus is lost on the wing. He's wasted
Right.
on the wing.
Okay.
Rob,
You gotta be a center.
Rob, you're making sense here.
Rob, who is going to put the biscuit in the basket for this team? Tell me that, because if you could convince me of, other than Marchand, who 2 years ago you wouldn't expect him as a 35-goal scorer, and if you told me that Brad Marchand would be your top scorer on your team, I would say you're not making the playoffs.
No, he should be. He's making that money now.
And he's tailed off
Well,
a
I
little
know
bit
that.
with the
Now
goal
he
scoring.
is.
Yeah, pass back. He can put the puck in the net. It's about puck movement too. It's not about snipers. I don't think as much in this league anymore.
As much
It's
as
getting the goalie to move. It's about making shot passes. I'm not as worried about them not having someone that can put. They're not having as many people that can put the puck in the net. Cruz is going to come around.
Okay, so basically what you're saying to me, did I just hear you correctly by saying you're not worried about who's going to put the puck in the net?
Not as much, no.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that you believe that Rask is going to be
you were
the
doing
key
so well there
to
for a
this
minute there,
team.
Rob.
Okay, so basically you're saying that they don't have to score 3 goals a game or 4 goals a game because they have Rask that's gonna only give up a goal a game.
No, he still makes me nervous.
Rob, tell me what you think about this. I absolutely 100% agree with you that David Krejci is not David Krejci anymore. And moving David Backus back to the center. But I got to tell you, you build teams from the goalie, then your defense. And I would still, and I know and I've heard that Trouba is still available out there, Jason Trouba. And
The young kid I was talking about.
I tell you, I would give them Ryan Spooner and Torrey Krug. Torrey Krug is a good offensive defenseman. He's well worth the money.
Yeah.
But
He's a -6 so far.
he's just not a big body in today's NHL. It's not that type anymore. You know, you're looking at guys like Brandon Carlo now, 6'2", 220, who can clear some
He's a
space.
future.
You know what? Torrey Krug isn't that guy anymore. Can he fit in with other teams that need that left-handed shot? No doubt about it. Who already have those big guys that are developed already? Yes. But you bring in a guy like Trouba, and you know what? I'm sorry, but Ryan Spooner it's all over. I've had enough of Ryan Spooner. I'd package up Spooner. I would package up Spooner and Krug and go after Jason Trouba, and just to share it up because you're going to need another big guy. Let's face it. As long as the Bruins want to keep, they got to keep Chara this year, and he's in his last year next year. You know, you got to. If anything, Chara's going to show these guys how to play, these big guys, and they'll come around. But concerning goals, you know what? I think you put Backus as your second center. I think you move Krejci to your third center, and work it out that way. And hopefully, Bolesky turns the corner and starts putting. I mean, he seems like he was playing well there for a few games. Didn't look too good last night. You know, maybe Vetrano is a little spark plug. He is. He's that type of guy. But I really liked Timmy Shallow last night. I thought he played a good game with Marchand and Bergeron. You know what? So I think there is upside to this team, but the upside is also considering that Tuukka Rask has got to stand on his head.
True. I mean, I like Carlo. I like having the big guy back there. I agree with you about Krug. Not sold on him really. And Spooner, time to go. He just.
Okay, and again, Rob, thanks for calling us again. Remember now, 2 weeks from today,
Is he coming in
Okay,
next
actually,
week?
you're going to come in. No, that's right. No, we got somebody coming in next week. Ray's coming in the week after that, and then we're going to have you in studio, Rob. So mark
no.
it down, okay? Mark it down. 2 weeks,
They wear my
3
NASCAR
weeks from
gear?
Wednesday.
So,
Okay.
So take a shower this time, Rob.
3 weeks from Wednesday, you're going to be in studio. The
You
open tryouts are
NASCAR,
coming in.
you NASCAR guys, showers once a week ain't gonna cut it here on the Talking Sports with Ronnie and Johnny. Tell you that
Well,
right now.
the thing it will be talking sports with Johnny and ... though.
Yeah, Ronnie's due.
All right, Rob, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hey, thanks, fellas.
See you,
We'll talk
Rob.
to you next week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, bye-bye.
He actually knows a little bit of hockey.
He does. I'm telling you, he's very passionate about hockey. He's let me tell you, he can get it there. He might be good for you. He could be. He could just
I'm
be.
just gonna- so
he
we
could just
have-
be talking hockey.
So next 3 weeks, we have a guest for the
We're
next
gonna have a
3
guest
weeks.
for the next 3 weeks.
So I should be able to make my decision by
I
Christmas
would
time.
think so. You've had
of a
2
new
already.
co-host.
That'll be 5.
Yeah.
If we get Mickey in here, that'll be 6.
I'll give Mickey a
Okay.
call. We
You
got
know-
to talk boxing. I think that.
Yeah, well, it's
actually, you know
coming
what
up.
we'll do?
It's
Just
coming
during the Golden Gloves,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
bring
right.
him in.
Yeah,
all right?
absolutely. That's what I'm thinking.
All right,
I'm thinking the
sounds
same
good.
thing. All right.
If
so,
he can't be the coach, he can beat you up at least.
Listen, I've taken a few beatings from him.
Yeah,
over
that's
the
true. You
years.
have.
Okay.
It's true. It's
few
true.
beatings in the cellar when we were kids over the years. Trust me. I felt that left hook. All right, so I want to get back to the Red Sox real quick while we have some time. And there's a couple of little things, little quips I want to do here. But okay, so Edwin Encarnacion, Carlos Beltran. Now, what Dombrowski has come out and said basically, and here's a quote that he said. He says, how long do you want to tie somebody up at DH
Right.
when you have a lot of young players coming up? So what that says to me is, okay, you pretty much can rule out Edwin Encarnacion because he's going to demand, there's 2 reasons. Number one, he's going to demand a long-term salary at long money, okay, at big money.
18 million, 5
Okay,
years.
no, because he's already been offered $20 million from Detroit, okay?
20 million.
I mean, from Toronto, $20 million, okay, for 4 years, and he said no, okay?
Well, you want to
No.
play in Toronto anyway?
Well, again, why he said no, I know why he said no, because he's waiting for offers, okay?
Yeah, I get it.
All right, so the other thing is the compensation. They don't want to give up the compensation because if he gets signed here, then Toronto gets compensation, okay? And Dombrowski likes his picks.
Yeah, he
He
does.
likes being drafted. He likes his picks. So that's one. With Beltran, there's no compensation. He either comes or he doesn't come. Sticking point with Beltran is he's 40 years old,
There's no question.
okay? Now, if you could get Beltran for 1 year,
Well, he's not going to do that.
Okay,
He's
well,
taking-
you know what?
He's going to get a 2-year deal.
well, it's very possible.
He is.
But what I'm saying is, if you offer him $22 million for 1 year, he may come, okay? Because he's 40 years old. Maybe he realizes that. All right. So, anyways, that
But is
would
he
be
the
that.
type of hitter you want at Fenway Park?
Well, according to Dombrowski, he would fit in perfectly, okay, in this team because he's a righty-lefty, and
Let me ask you,
they do it
why does Toronto want to get rid of Juan Batista so bad?
because he's not the same guy as he used to be. First of all, he's off the juice. Okay.
I think he is, yeah.
Oh, he's off the juice. Okay, and so now he's injury prone. Because with that generally,
So that's why Toronto
that'll
give
be-
Encarnacion
that's
the
gonna-
$20 million.
That's going to be a whole topic that we're going to have at some point. In the springtime or whatever when we talk about steroids, whatever. Oh, well, believe me, there's a lot of guys in there right now that are coming off steroids that are injury prone, and we'll get into that at
Right,
some other
right.
point. But some of the other guys they've talked about, and again, Mike Napoli has talked about. Okay, there's three
Been
teams.
there,
okay,
done that.
all right. Well, here's my point with Mike Napoli. First of all, Mike Napoli, I'm going to give you all of them. Okay, Batista's one of them. They got a kid, Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Holliday. Okay, is another guy they've talked about. Now, Matt Holliday, forget it. Okay, he at one 9 years ago when they wanted him and he didn't want to come. This is when you should have got him because that's when he was at his best. He's on his way out. Again, another juicer gone. His stats are down. 20 homers, 62 RBIs last year. He's not going to help you. Okay, Juan Batista. We just talked about him. Same thing. Okay, his best years are behind him. All right, so
What about, let me ask this.
yeah.
What about nobody?
Well, that's going to be another option we're going to talk about. Okay?
Why
That
not make Hanley Ramirez your DH?
committee, by committee.
Make,
okay?
Make Sandoval your first baseman and bring up Moncada to play third.
Okay, that's the other option. But the point I was going to make was Mike Napoli to me would be the wise choice if they were going to do that, only because
Plus
he's
good-
been here,
good
he
clubhouse
knows how to play,
presence, too.
good clubhouse guy.
Sure.
34 homers, 101 RBIs. He
Yep.
still has to pop. Not going to do much other than that. Strike out a million times, but who cares?
Yeah,
All right. But the other option again is like you said, why not just pick the pieces that we have right here? Because Moncada is going to come up at some point. Okay.
He's got to.
They've got Travis. They've got about 4 guys that they're thinking about having come up. Okay. My only point with that is, look, they pretty much assured Hanley Ramirez that he was going to be a DH this year. okay, last year.
Right.
Because when he became a first baseman, he was happy with the fact he was coming back into the infield instead of to play the outfield.
Right.
He knew that Ortiz was leaving this year, and they went to him and said, after Ortiz leaves, we're going to get somebody. And of course, at the time, they really thought it might be a Travis Shaw, okay, that might be able to do that. So now, you got to remember, you put something in Hanley's mind, he's thinking, okay, well, they're going to pick somebody up, or they're going to do something where I don't have to play first base. Now, you might have to play a few games, or, 10, 15, maybe even 30 games, but he doesn't want to play another 150 games at,
No,
at
absolutely
first base, okay? So,
But you got to find a room for Sandoval, and
well,
nobody's going to take his
Sandoval's
contract.
Sandoval's playing third base. Believe me, he's starting at third base next year. There's no question in my mind he's a third baseman. Okay, as long as he comes back in shape. Okay, and that's the if. I know he dropped pounds, but he's not playing winter ball, and they wanted him to play winter ball, so he stayed busy.
I kind of think I'm just looking at their payroll, Ronnie.
Yeah. What payroll? It's an imaginary number.
I get it is, but
It's an imaginary number.
well, they just
don't
went
care.
up on all their prices again for next year.
They don't care, but that's fine. You know what? That place will be packed every single night.
will
Johnny.
be, yep.
They don't care, okay? So that number is imaginary. They could care less. All right, so for me, if I had to make the choice, honestly, I would go hard after Encarnacion, okay? I think he either him or Napoli would be the two if they were going to go after a free agent. If not, they'll mix and match.
I think the wild card is what they think of Moncada. I really
Exactly.
do.
Well, I got to be honest with you. He didn't show much to me last
Well,
year, okay?
yeah.
But he's a young kid. He's a young kid. And I know he's only going to get better, but that remains to be seen. One of the topics, we got about a minute to go. One of the topics, just real quick, Johnny. Tiger Woods is coming back into play. He's playing this week, okay?
How old's Tiger Woods?
He's got to be now 37,
37?
maybe 36, 37, okay? Is he going to make it back to the form he used to be in? Or, and I'm going to say the Tiger Woods that we know, but is he going to be good enough to be able to at least win a major?
Well, he really hasn't been in a tournament in how long? He's let his back heal.
A full tournament, it's been over a year.
So is his back ready to go?
Well,
I mean,
according to-
once you
according-
hurt your
He
back,
played last night, and supposedly he shot a 70.
Yep.
And he said he felt great. All parts of his game was great. His back felt great. Everything was good. But he's been down that road before too. Okay. If you were going to put your money on the fact that Tiger Woods is come back and he's a healthy Tiger Woods, even a healthy Tiger Woods,
he's just great.
does he have the game right now to be able to win a major?
But you know what? He's just great for the game. of golf.
Absolutely. Listen,
Do I
golf-
think if he can shoot a 70 right
Golf
now without
isn't
playing
golf.
then you know what? Then he should be ready.
the golf game you see right now wouldn't be the golf game without Tiger Woods, okay? If it wasn't for Tiger Woods, okay? But is the golf game ready to be without Tiger Woods forever?
I think it is. You always get these up and comers, and
You
it
know,
has. And
Does
it
it,
is shown.
does it excite you to see Justin? What's his name there? What am I thinking of? The number one guy.
It was Justin Rose, but
No, not Justin Rose. What am I thinking of? Anyways, I just said the number one golfer. It's
McIlroy
just
is up
escaping me.
there.
McIlroy, okay. Oh, guys like that. Does that excite you when you watch golf? That McIlroy is. Look at other than the thing they just had there. Jesus, I'm losing my mind here, Johnny.
that's why we're getting a new co-host.
That's right. That's what it is. It's all about.
Just say
That's-
goodbye,
Listen, the cat's out of the bag. All right. Well, anyways, thanks again for tuning in tonight to Talking Sports with Ronnie and Johnny here on Drake at Access TV. To all from Johnny and me, we're going to say one thing. I'm not going to go easy. Have a good night.